Yeah, it's about an English woman and it's period. But it was amazing. When I read it, it was like wonderful about a story about a young girl who's finding her voice. And England is not like Saudi Arabia, but a little bit maybe. Very conservative, and they expected women to be in a certain way and write. And Jane Austen was her contemporary. She's the star. And everybody expected her maybe to write something about marriage or love and jealousy. And she went on and wrote that amazing thing about like science fiction, questioning God and creating a genre. And it was sad for me that everybody said it's a masculine book, but everything she wrote in the book is as a result of her life as a woman, of losing a child or having an exhausting relationship with a handsome husband. But it is really, it's like woman being intellectually dismissed, such a modern idea, and happens until today. So it broke my heart, and I felt like we really need to celebrate women like her, and we create this kind of legacy for womanhood. For us to move forward, we have to reclaim that, and we have to celebrate women like her who broke away from tradition and all that.
I'm wondering, Douglas, when you decided to take this part, how much research did you do about this man? He's a complicated character, you know, there's a lot of light and dark with him, and I'm curious how you approached it.
Well, I was very fortunate there was a really good biography about him. It was about 800 pages. I'm severely dyslexic, so that took me a long time. But it was really informative, and yeah, there was just a lot of information about him and his family, and you know what made him this person that he was when I met him in this story and when I started playing him. So working on, you know, reading through a lot of his work, and some of his poems are pretty long. They're not haikus, put it that way. So reading his poetry, reading about his life, you know, and it was a fascinating read, because he really was a great rebel of his time, a massive idealist, and as you saw in the movie, someone that really stood by his ideals and unfortunately damaged many people around him and probably harmed himself at the same time.
Do we have questions in the audience? Do my best to catch your name.
Be brave.
Be brave, exactly. That's what we say. Raise them high, and we have mics for you.
One here.
Yes, right here.
So
Okay, so yeah.
costumes. Yeah,
Go ahead.
costume design student. If any insight on the costumes?
I'll start and let you go. Amy and I interviewed Carolina, and Carolina is a very young Luxembourgish costume designer, and she was amazing. She told us she would go on a trip around Europe, and we didn't have money for her. We told her, you can't go, but she persisted. She really was like, I'm gonna go to Europe. And she went and picked all those amazing, beautiful costumes, and it's wonderful. And yeah.
You know, when you're making film low budget, you obviously have to be very resourceful. Carolina was a student of costume, but her mother was a knitter, so all of the knits in the movie she made. Her mother made for the film, so she was extremely resourceful in sourcing it, which was great.
Let's hear what the star gave her.
I'm sure we're getting interesting to add. I've done some period pieces before, and often the costume designers are old, are older than Carolina was, but they're older and they're very strict. They're like, no, in 1805 you only buttoned up this many buttons or this and that, and they're very strict about it. The great thing about Percy and this group of young people in it, Percy, Claire Claremont, Mary Shelley and Byron, they really weren't conformists of their time, so we had some freedom to really play with that. So we had some fun with the costume designer because of that.
Yeah, they threw their corset.
Oh yeah, this is quite a good story.
And he didn't want to bottom his thing.
Ella and Belle were like, as soon as they ran away from home, they were like, we're not wearing this bloody corset. Every day, it's pretty uncomfortable. They rebelled and threw it off, as Mary and Claire would have done. So that was quite nice.
Other questions?
Hi, thank you so much for, I'm over here, to your left. Well, thank you for making such a great film. I was really curious what the move was that Lord Byron did to Mary with the eyes, like where that came from.
Amy is very passionate about the scene, so I'll give her the floor to talk about that.
So that was Tom's idea, and when he showed up on set, we actually took us a while to find our Byron. We really searched, and Haifa had a very specific idea of authenticity that she wanted for the role, and Tom really immersed himself in it and wanted to, Byron was a very eccentric character in real life, and I guess would be called pansexual in contemporary terms, and was very wild, and Tom just kind of lived it. When we were on set, you didn't really talk to Tom, you talked to Byron. And he improvised that. And Haifa and I went around and around on that particular scene because there is an argument to be made that they just leave and she never says goodbye. And the movie would work beautifully without it. And Haifa had a version of it that worked really well. And I, being very stubborn, begged her to leave it in for me, and I would take all the heat if you didn't like it. So if you don't like it, it's my fault. But if you love it, it's hers. But it was his idea because he was trying to communicate in a way that was unique to Byron, and Byron was seeing something in Mary that nobody else had seen. And the fact that he was still somewhat chauvinistic for that age, but recognized something in her that no one else had yet seen, and felt that she had something to offer the world. I think that's really where he was coming from with that.
I would say filming anything in Geneva was crazy because I had Douglas Bell and Al and Tom and Ben Hardy, all the young people. It was like, it's a monkey cage, how am I going to control that thing? But they did an amazing job. They were like improvising and feeding off each other's energy. And I'll let Douglas speak about that because it was really wonderful just for me as a filmmaker to document it and be there.
Well, yeah, that was a lot of fun because we'd been shooting our version of the film with like Elle and Belle, and it was just the three of us. And then suddenly Tom walked onto set, and the first thing that happened was shot the scene where we arrived, and he walked down out of the house and he kissed me on the lips, which wasn't in the script.
What? What's going on?
Right, okay, I get the picture. I see where this is going. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I wish more of that could have actually been kept in. Maybe we could do an extended version of that sequence where we played a lot of games and we were reciting each other's poetry back to each other. We did about a whole day of it.
Has to be trimmed down.
Yeah, you see about 30 seconds. But there's some really great stuff in that, like some crazy stuff that probably made no sense to any of you guys, but it was quite funny. So yeah, that was actually a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah, but it's true. The creative energy in the room made it possible for Mary to write her book, and just capturing that energy really reflected in the scenes and really prevail. Like it is, you can sense it and you can feel it, even if we trimmed it. So it's there.
I think we have them right here.
Hi there. Thank you for the beautiful film that you made. I have two questions. Do we know the cause of death of Claire's little girl? She died at 10. That's so sad. And the sets were so gorgeous and seemed so accurate. I'm just wondering what kind of research went into creating the sets for the film.
Yeah, I think the mortality rate at that time was very high among children, and I think maybe she caught pneumonia or something like that.